My favorite part of Christmas with my family is not our delicious dinner or opening presents. It's the very last thing we do on Christmas Eve before bed, which is sing Silent Night together. It's just such a peaceful, beautiful, timeless song. There's a magic to it. And the piano accompaniment is really easy to learn. It's in the key of C, and it's essentially just 3 chords. I'm gonna build it up in 3 levels of complexity. First, right hand chords, left hand bass notes. Second, we'll add a left hand arpeggio. And third, we'll add a few more decorations. Finally, since it is so simple, at the end I will also show you how to play it in the key of G, in case the key of C doesn't fit the vocal ranges of you or your loved ones. Let's jump in. Okay, so first off, I recommend you get the chords and lyrics chart. There's a link down in the description, and if you end up doing it in the key of G, there is a separate link to get the chord chart in that key. For the key of C, the 3 chords we're gonna need are a C major chord, just C, E, G. This is middle C here. And with my first finger in my left hand, I'm just doing a C an octave lower there. We're also going to need a G chord. So I'm gonna move my hand down for that. That's gonna be G, B, and D. I'm using my 4th finger in the left hand for the bass note. And then finally, an F major chord. So all 3 of these chords have the same shape, F, A, C, and then I'm using my left hand 5th finger for the bass note there. So here is the chord progression. It's a lot of C's and G's and F's. You will notice a couple other things. There's a couple of 7th chords, and these are optional. It still sounds great if you just do the simple triad. But when we have the G7, it comes after a measure of G there in the 2nd line. All you gotta do to turn it into a G7 is drop that thumb down to an F. Similarly, there's a C to a C7. All you gotta do for that C7 is drop your thumb down to the B flat. And not all versions of Silent Night do a 7th chord there. So if it sounds good to you, do it. I like it, so I'm gonna do it. And then finally, there's this lone A minor at the end of the 2nd to last line. So that's gonna be coming from the C. Of course, we're gonna need a A bass note. So I'm gonna do my left hand 3rd finger for that. And we're doing an inversion on this A minor chord here. So it's C, E, and A. And I like doing 1, 2, and 5 for the fingers there. All right, that is all the chords you need to do. This song is in 3/4 time, so each of these measures get 3 counts, kind of a nice slow 1, 2, 3. So I'm just gonna play through the form here. I'm gonna kind of sing and count it so you can get a sense of it. Silent night, 2, 3. Holy night, 2. All is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin, mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Then of course, you could loop it around into the next verse. So I think that sounds good just like it is, and if you've got a group of people singing, that's really all you need, and then the song is really about the singing. But we can do a little bit more with it. It's gonna sound like this. It's nice left hand arpeggio pattern. So for each of the chords, we're just gonna do the 3 notes of the chord in root position. So if you're playing a C here, C, E, G here, and you're just gonna play from bottom to top on each of the 3 counts, every measure. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then of course going to G, 2, 3. So for the G7, you do the same thing again in the left hand. You only change the right hand thumb. 1, 2, 3, C, 2, 3. Same thing here. Left hand just does the 3 notes of the triad. You can do the 7th chord note with your right hand thumb on that B flat. One thing I think sounds really good is when we go from the C to the A minor, to just let it kind of hang in the air without the arpeggio, just for that measure. Peace. Part's a little high for my voice. And then you would return, sleep in heavenly peace. A couple things I want to mention. Doing this with the left hand might be tricky for you at first. So I would encourage you to just take it really slow and maybe just loop it on a C without worrying about the chord changes. Just keep your wrists up and your fingers curved and everything else relaxed, and you'll get the muscle memory for it. Also, for this arpeggio version, it really helps to have the sustain pedal down. It makes everything kind of ring together really nicely. I've been doing that so far. You will just need to lift it when you change the chord. So just a little lift whenever there's a new chord. Lift. If you need help with your sustain pedal timing, I made a video all about that. Okay, I want to give you just a couple other optional details. This is a song that has so much space in it, and it's nice and slow, so there's a lot of room to just play around. You could do different inversions. But just a couple things I really like to do. In the last measures of the 2nd and 3rd lines, so both times it's about to start another line that starts with an F, it sounds really nice to walk up on D, E, and then go to F. So I'll show you what I mean. All is bright round yon. So keep doing the same rhythm you've been doing in the left hand with the arpeggio, just on 1, 2, 3, but instead of skipping up the triad, you're just stepping up toward F, but of course we're going to do that lower octave F there. And then you can do it at the end of that line as well. Mother and child, 2, 3, holy. So I really like to do that. Also, this part is really cool. When you're on the F in the beginning of the 3rd or 4th line, so that's going to be round yon virgin. That's the trick right there. It's stepping down in thirds. So that's on the 2nd measure of F each time, and it's 1, 2, and 3 with an 8th note there. I'm doing 3 and 5 on the A and C, 2 and 4 on the G and B, and then 1 and 3 on the F and A. Virgin. If you know how to sing it, you can play the rhythm because it's the same. Virgin. It's just stepping down, mimicking the vocals. This stepping around in thirds on chords is actually one of the tricks I teach in my course, Piano Chord Breakthroughs, and I really encourage you to practice getting this fingering. It might feel a little tricky with the 2 and 4 there to coordinate at first. You could just hop your hand if you want to do that, but if you practice it a bit, your fingers will get used to it, and it's a really cool trick. Finally, something I like to do that I would not do in that first verse, but as another verse starts and maybe the song wants to feel like it's building a little bit, is to just add some low octaves on the C's, especially in the first line on like silent night, every other measure maybe, holy. It just gives it some power. So you basically hit the root and then you just hop up and continue the arpeggio where it would have been. So that can be really nice to throw in as you're building energy in that second or third verse. On that walk up from C to F bit, all is bright. You could, instead of doing, you could go down an octave. All is bright round yon. So a couple things there. You could also do is bright, just go straight to the C. Also, I hit the chord in the right hand on each one of those hits. Is bright, 2, 3, like that. And you could do that on the C at the end of that line as well. Heaven afar. Notice how I kind of slow down there and drop dragged it out. There's a lot of room for expression here. Okay, now I'm gonna do a playthrough of that full arrangement in the key of C. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. And of course, if I was going to go around to the other verses, silent night, doing some of those bass notes. Cool. I'm now going to quickly show you how to do it in the key of G. But first, if you are enjoying this video and you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe and click the bell so you know when I put out more videos like this one. So here's the chord progression if you're going to play it in G. And playing it in the key of G instead of C gives you options to be higher or lower than it sounds in C, because you can go up the octave or down the octave. And so, of course, we've got this G chord. I'm flipping it though. In the key of C, we started with our left-hand thumb, and then we went down to the other chords. In the key of G, I'm doing the opposite. I'm going to use my fifth finger on the bass note there, and we're going to go up to the other chords. That keeps all the chords in the range of the piano that sounds the best. So if you learned it in C first, it's a little bit weird to flip that, but I think it sounds nice. So we've got the G chord. We also need the D chord. And for the D7, you can just drop your thumb to C. And for the G7, you can just drop your thumb to F. And then, of course, the C chord, using my second finger there. And then the one other thing you will need is that E minor. So the left hand can come down here to E while we do G, B, and E there. 1, 2, 5. Of course, you can add in that arpeggio, which sounds great. And then for the extra tricks I showed you in the key of C, you can do them here too, but it's a little different because when you go from the G to the C, you can just walk straight up to it just because we have the octaves flipped this time. So that's actually really nice. Just walk up. It sounds a little bit more connected that way. And then also for that little stepping down in thirds thing, we are in the key of G where Fs are sharped. So you gotta be aware of that. Round yon virgin. So we've got D and F sharp together there on the 2 and 4. Mother and child. So yeah, if you need clarification on the arpeggio or anything, you can look at when I taught it in the key of C, but I'll just do a sing through of this, and I'm going to sing it in the lower octave, but if you've got a higher voice, you could sing it up an octave, and this might be the perfect key for you. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy learning and playing this song. If you want more holiday and Christmas songs, I have a playlist for that, and I'm going to be adding more to that soon. Have an awesome day.